confidence is key to living a soft and feminine life, but it's also important because confidence means freedom. If we're insecurities or whatever I went through that's making me feel so low, doesn't matter. They don't even exist anymore. So you don't have to miss out on that because you're too shy to fill up a room. You have so much to give and to offer. Fill up that room. Talk. Hey guys, hey my loves. Thank you guys for checking out my page again, and I'm so happy that you guys are back. Today we're going to get right into it. Today we're going to talk about confidence, and I'm extremely passionate about this conversation because it's something that I still struggle with. But in order for me to reach that soft and feminine lifestyle that I talk about, I had to learn how to be confident with myself and embrace myself and the journey, and like I mentioned before, love myself. But let's be real, we all struggle with confidence no matter what season in life we're in. And unfortunately, we may lack that self-love, or we're controlled by our insecurities. I'm actually getting ready to go to a birthday party for one of my good friends, and I have my dress in the back, and I'm so excited to wear it because it's something different and new. But I'm excited, and I'm gonna take you guys with me today to the high-end restaurant. I'm a little bougie, so this is gonna be so much fun. And then we're going to a chocolate lounge after. So like I mentioned, confidence is key to living a soft and feminine life, but it's also important because confidence means freedom. If we're bound by our insecurities, then we're bound not living a fulfilled life, and we're stuck and we're just existing, and we don't want that. So I'm going to mention 3 points to help you build your confidence and help pour into that side of you. And I'll also be a little bit personal and share some of my insecurities and examples on how I use these 3 points to go from a shy young Brooke to a more confident, self-loving, shake the room Brooke. So that's the goal. So point number 1 is acknowledgement. And I mention this in all of my videos. Always acknowledge yourself, but let's also acknowledge our insecurities and what it is that we struggle with, or that we don't think is beautiful about ourselves, or that's controlling us. So where our mentality is, that's where our feet is going to follow. And if we have a lot of insecurities and self-doubt, which is normal, that's the direction that we're going to continue living our lives. So let's be real. Sit down with yourself and take some time out for yourself, and list out your insecurities. Have an honest conversation with yourself. For me, my insecurities, as I mentioned before, was my body frame growing up, my breast size, or how soft-spoken I was. I was definitely always shy, and I always felt a little small in large spaces because I was shy, and I always struggled with the thought and fear that I'm not good enough, which would stop me from moving forward on some of the goals that I wanted, or I would hesitate. So write those insecurities down, take some time out, and have this honest conversation with yourself, and really think about what these insecurities are, and just be honest. So now, a part of the acknowledgement is not just acknowledging them and bringing them out into physical form, but sitting down, closing your eyes, and let's imagine that we're living in a life down the line where these insecurities no longer control us, and we tackled them. And imagine having that life to where you're no longer insecure or too shy and hesitate to where you can't move forward on the things that you want to do. Imagine how sweet and great and beautiful that life would be. That's the goal. We want to go from being too insecure and being too afraid because of our insecurities to living a more confident life and loving ourselves and embracing the insecurities if you have to. And I'm a big believer of my girl Tyra Banks. You either fix it or flaunt it, one of the two, but we can't be in between. We have to work on these insecurities and be confident. And unfortunately, we go through insecurities the most and lack confidence when we go through heartbreaks. And if you are someone going through a heartbreak, I'm sorry. But this is the most beautiful and best time, because this is the time when you are the most vulnerable. And when I used to go through heartbreaks or go through a hard time, I will close my eyes, I'll put on music, and now I realize that this is manifestation, but this is acknowledgement. And I will imagine myself living a life, being that woman that I wanted to be. The heartbreak didn't matter, the insecurities or whatever I went through that's making me feel so low, doesn't matter. They don't even exist anymore. Acknowledge the insecurities. Sit down and look at them face to face and have a conversation with yourself. Point number 2, we have to constantly, every day, work on our confidence. Confidence takes work, just like anything that matters. Confidence takes a lot of work, and it's not something that we can just flip a switch overnight. The examples that I'm about to list, I had to work on these every day, every week, and it's tough. You're responsible for your happiness. You have to work on these. So repetition is extremely important. Point number 3, the most important point, and this is going to lead to the examples that I'll give, personal examples. Point number 3, get out of your comfort zone. That's all it is to it. Get out of your comfort zone. Throw yourself into the fire. So after you acknowledge what it is that makes you insecure, and once you realize that you're going to have to put in the work to reach the confidence, point number 3 is to get out of your comfort zone. So life is never going to take it easy on us. It's going to be extremely hard, including these insecurities and the lack of confidence. So we need to hit back just as hard. And so the number one thing that I did to become a more confident person, which is the reason why I'm able to sit and talk in front of a camera, is getting out of my comfort zone. And that's throwing yourself into the fire, being uncomfortable, and tackling the things head on, doing the opposite of what it is that you struggle with. So let's get into it. Let's talk about the examples that I did to get out of my comfort zone to help me reach my confidence. Now, mind you, again, disclaimer, this is what I use. These were my insecurities and what I had to do. And it may not work for everybody, but I will ask you to at least try to do these at least once. If it's not for you, then we got to find other ways for you to become uncomfortable and to tackle these insecurities. But like I said, growing up, I struggled with my identity. I always felt small in large places, my voice, my body, all of those things. And so even my hair at one point. So one thing that I did was I started dressing for me, and doing the things and dressing how I felt would make me look beautiful instead of comparing myself to other people. So I started wearing dresses and heels and certain outfits that kind of embraced my body, showed off my breasts and showed off my hips and the body frame that I had. Instead of trying to be like everybody else, I dressed what made me feel beautiful. And honestly, whenever I'm going anywhere, even the grocery stores, I wear a dress and heels, and I dress like that for me. And I don't care who's looking or how many people's looking. I do it for me, because I remember that there was a time where I used to feel insecure and I didn't want to dress a certain type of way. And so now that I'm at a place of confidence and I did this exercise, I can't give it up. Wherever I go, I don't care if it's laid back, I'm still dressing to the T, and that's for myself. And it makes me feel confident. When I'm going through a low time, I wear high heels. I do my makeup extra nice that day. I tackle those things. And so at least I look good. And if I look good, I feel a little bit better. So that's one of the tricks I use, dressing for me and wearing things that embrace my body frame. Exhibit A, I love dresses. So I used to never dress like this, but I never want to go back to that time. Example number 2, and this is extremely hard, but I'm telling you, if you do this, I'm going to encourage you guys to do this. It will change you. Show up to events on your own. This is almost similar to the point I mentioned in my last video, bringing yourself on dates, self-dates, showing up to events on your own. And I will encourage you to start off small. maybe going to coffee shops by yourself or social events, work events by yourself. Try at least, ideally once a week, but once a month. Go to events by yourself. And so when I moved out here to Dallas, I started going to fashion shows by myself. I started going to social events by myself. I started going to restaurants by myself, whatever. Networking events. I started showing up by myself, and I know it is very intimidating, especially if you're an introvert. But you have to tackle this head on. If you're someone that's like me, that's shy and afraid to speak up, the only way, unfortunately, to tackle that is to go to these events by yourself. I'm gonna show you a trick on what I did on how to work a room. So you go to these events by yourself, and you dress nice. A point that I mentioned earlier, you dress nice, and then nobody knows that you're a little shy and insecure. They only know what you show them. So you just dress up, and what you have to do is you have to find at least one person that you can connect with. One person. And all you do is this: you go around. You can sit at first and observe, but you have to go around and introduce yourself to a few people. And you just start off by saying, "Hey, my name is." To break the ice, you can give a compliment. And if you click with that person, that's your home base. That's your comfort zone. If you can start a conversation with that person, try to find things that you guys have in similar or whatever. And then once you build up a little bit of confidence, then you start working the room and start moving a little bit, talking to other people. Whenever you start getting overwhelmed or shy, you go back to your home base, to that person that you connected with, and you talk, mingle with them, sit back if you have to a little bit, but then you got to put yourself back out there, work the room, talk, connect, and eventually that home base might get a little bit bigger and bigger, and it starts feeling a little more fluid. Now, this takes more than one event to get used to. To this day, sometimes I get a little shy, but as you do it more and more, you become more comfortable. And I tell you, the more and more you do this, the more confident you feel. Like you can walk in any room and own it and strike any conversation. But remember, the main point is to pour into yourself, to network with people. So you don't want to miss out on that because you're too shy to fill up a room. You have so much to give and to offer. Fill up that room, talk to people, network, mingle. So this leads to an even harder challenge. Every room that you're invited into, speak up. Use your voice. And this is probably the hardest one that I had to deal with because, like I said, I was shy. I would feel small in large rooms, and I hate public speaking. I hate public speaking. But man, the only way to challenge that and to work on that is to speak up. Because of my career and what I do, I started getting invited into rooms. Now, mind you, when you're invited into a room, you can't disrespect yourself and be silent. You're there for a reason. God opened that door for a reason. And I need you to realize that our voice have power. No matter how we look on the outside, what we're going through on the inside, our voice still has so much power. But we can water it down because we're too afraid to speak out, to speak up. And so what I started doing was going to these conferences, okay? And seminars and all of that. And so I'm gonna challenge you to do this, and please I still struggle with this, but try it. But suppose it's a panel discussion, or it's a meeting, or it's a work event. I need you to at least once at every one of these discussions, panel discussions, events, take the microphone during the question and answer segment. Take the microphone and ask a question in front of the room full of people. Anxiety, I know, but y'all, like once I started doing that, I started having more confidence in my voice, and it's so important. And I remember this one conference I went to, and it was talking about being minorities and what we have to offer in the architecture design field and why it's so important. To start it off, let's say I will go and ask a question that I already knew the answer to, but I knew I was working on this side of me. So I was like, let me just ask this question I know the answer to it, but let me put myself out there, work on this, ask this question. So I raised my little hand and I was like, yeah, can I have the mic, please? And so I asked my question. And y'all, I knew the answer, but I don't remember anything this man told me. The panel, anything that they told me. They answered my question, but I don't remember because my heart was racing and I was so nervous. But at the same time, I was celebrating and so proud of myself because I did that. Like, I asked the question, I spoke up in a room full of professionals and designers, y'all. But yeah, to this day, I don't remember what that man said. But I did that. I asked my question, I spoke up. And here's the benefit to that. After I did that, I started getting more attention and more networking opportunities. I had so many professionals coming up to me and they wanted to elaborate on a question or to ask me questions. I started getting mentors through that. So what I'm trying to say is that I stood out in front of a room full of people. I no longer felt small. I felt like I filled the room. I stood out and I was able to make some meaningful connections, networking event, and be prepared because you will have an influx of people wanting to know more. Like, wow, this person stood out. This person asked this question. This person is not afraid in a room full of people to use her voice. And that stands out. And that's very attractive to people. And I know this is hard, but start off small and ask a question that you already know the answer to. And just put yourself out there. And I want to elaborate on this because God gave us a voice for a reason, and there's so much that we have to do and say, and we can no longer be silent. We cannot waste our lives. You have to use that voice. I'm still learning how to do that myself, and I still get scared. But all it is not even 5 minutes. It's probably 3 minutes of being uncomfortable. Your heart's going to be racing. You're going to be a little scared, but just speak up and say what you have to say. Ask the question, stand out, and that's going to pour into you. Another trick that I used, and this helped me with my insecurities in my body, photo shoots. I know this sounds so basic and generic. Everybody's doing photo shoots. And I'll tell you why. When you stand in front of a camera, you have to embrace your flaws. How many times do you hear women and men, anybody, how many times do you hear somebody say, oh, I'm not photogenic, or I hate how I look on camera? First of all, we shouldn't be using the word hate when we're describing ourselves. No. And so that's why I started doing photo shoots, because when you stand in front of that camera, you have to embrace yourself. And unfortunately, it shows in the picture, but fortunately, repetition, you keep working on it. Y'all, it gave me a certain type of confidence that I'm having a hard time describing, because it's like I tackled it head on and I started loving myself. I started embracing it. And once you realize that a lot of these Instagram models and everybody have one Photoshop, but two angles, then, you start to put yourself in that perspective, like, I have angles too, and you're not comparing yourself to fakeness and what everyone else is doing. You're going to love yourself and you're going to tackle those insecurities head on, because you're putting yourself in the uncomfortable position by doing these photo shoots. Another point, something else that I did, this is extreme. I moved to a new city on my own, and I mentioned that I share an identity with my twin. I was always known as twin. I did the most extreme thing, and I will vouch for any woman, any person, especially at a young age, but wherever you are, to move to a new place on your own with no friends and no family, even if it's for 6 months, 3 months, or a year. I just so happen to like Dallas. I've been here for 6 years, but move to a new city on your own. And here's why. Everything that I mentioned before, dressing, showing up to events on your own, the photo shoots, networking, you realize that, you've been leaning on everyone else's perception of you versus your own. And when I moved to a new city on my own, it was me against me. Everything else was quiet and silent. I had to decide, okay, what type of woman am I? How much do I love myself? Am I really a God-fearing Christian, or was that just because my mom was telling me to go to church in the morning? I realized that I was leaning on someone else pushing me versus me. So I found my own identity through that. I found my own self-worth through that. And I found my own confidence through moving to a new city. And find your own identity, find your own self-worth. That is the extreme. And so I know it's easier said than done, but actually it is easy. All you do is pack up and move. But yeah, you have to make your own friends and kind of start over. But it's the most beautiful thing. So I definitely encourage you to just try it. So these are the tricks that I did. So like I said, moving to a new city on your own, showing up to events by yourself, dressing nice, even if it's just going to the grocery store, but celebrating your body and dressing nice, and using your voice and speaking up and asking and standing up, using your voice in rooms that you're invited into. And and photo shoots. But confidence is important, and in order for us to live that soft and feminine life, we have to be confident in ourselves and with ourselves, because we love ourselves more the more confident we are. And we're not going to allow certain things to fly in our life, because that also leads into dating, which will be another video, relationships and dating. But confidence is huge. And so I'm about to go to this high-end event, and I'm going to share, I think it's at the Tower Club. Anyway, it's very bougie. I'm so excited, and I brought this new dress. It's a little different, but I'm excited. So let's put that on. And throughout the night, I'm going to share some affirmations with you guys, because I want to pour into you. And the same way I have to pour into myself, but I want you to remember that you are here, you're beautiful, you're powerful, and you got so much to do in this world. And so I'm going to take you along with me and share those affirmations with you guys. Until then, let's get dressed. I got a little bit of time, so I can't wait for you guys to see the dress, but let's get dressed. I have a certain look in my head that I'm trying to go for, and I feel like I'm wearing this strapless dress. I want to try to make a braid out of this ponytail, so let's see how this works. Let's see. I hope it works, y'all.
Where you been, where you hiding?
Alexa, play music.
You're lying. Don't you try it, no. You really shouldn't play with fire. Put it out with water, but now you're drowning. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying or be like you, but I don't wanna be like you. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying or be like you, but I don't wanna be like you. Cause I could do better. I could do better. I could do better than that. And you should know better. You should know better. You should know better than that. You're telling me I should go places. You're telling me that I'm too lazy. You are the one that is going crazy. Yeah. Cause you can't even hold your own, but you always know what's wrong with everyone else. How is that? You gonna have to call your friends, tell them that you're gonna be late, cause I'ma need you to explain. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying or be like you, but I don't wanna be like you.
Okay, you guys, this is the final look. This is different for me. I don't wear stuff like this, but I think it's cute. I wanted to go with a sleek look, which is why I chose the ponytail or the braid. But I'm so indecisive. I might turn it back into a regular ponytail by the end of the night. But yeah, I'm running late as always. So we're about to go to dinner. I'll take you guys there, give you guys affirmations there. And then we're going to a chocolate lounge. And whoever knows me knows I love sweets and live music. So that's going to be so much fun. But excited to take you guys with me. Okay, let's go. Let's look at the outfit again.
Telling me I should be dying or be like you, but I don't wanna be like you. Cause I could do better. I could do better. I could do better than that. And you should know better. You should know better. You should know better than that. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. You should help yourself. Yeah. I don't need your help. I don't need your help. You should help yourself. There's been a whole lot of crying, whole lot of trying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying to be like you. I don't wanna be like you. There's been a whole lot of trying, whole lot of crying, whole lot of telling me I should be dying to be like you. I don't wanna be like you.
Is how you say it in French, but if you want to say it just normal, it's Somalia.
You know what? It sounds better when you say it.
Yes. Do you mind if I record in here? So
Please. Just make sure I'm famous someday.
Okay, look, I'm gonna be famous. You're gonna be famous. So open the
Yeah,
wine.
people we don't like.
Oh, that don't pay their bills.
This is my saber actually. I brought this.
Oh, I love that one.
And you find where the two halves of the glass meet, and that's where if you hit it right here, it's going to be the weakest point actually on the glass. And you have to make sure the bottle's very cold, and of course it has to be the right atmospheric pressure. Slide it up along it, and there's not going to be foil there when you do it, but you hit the lid right here, and it cracks all the way around the bottom. And then
Okay. Watch your step by step.
Turn this bottle to the right.
Is this a hidden room?
And then you turn this one.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, that's amazing. And so what's in here? No. Andrew's our friend.
And this is our.
It took like 70 degrees.
Wow.
Look at the chandelier.
So this is your expensive wine because I have a
These are
friend.
actually spirits.
Oh, spirits. Okay. I'm right. You're right. Yeah. Yes. So I'm gonna use this time just to say an affirmation. I want you to know that you are beautiful and you are worthy and you're worth it, and everything you desire, you can have it. You just have to go and get it. You will be confident one day, or you are confident, and you are in charge of your life, and nothing's holding you back, and you will overcome your insecurities. And I'm proud of you, and so you will be proud of yourself as well. And let's continue to pour into ourselves. So remember that. You got this.
Brookie's doing a whole YouTube, by the way, guys. I was about to
This is a bathroom. Look at the birthday girl. Yeah. This is Esther, one of my close friends. Look at how beautiful she is. So Esther, I promised the girls that I will give them affirmations throughout the night. So do you have an affirmation to share with them?
I think that you just live your life to the fullest. It doesn't matter what age you are, it matters that you're living your life exactly how you want it and exactly how God has called you to be.
Y'all, I went to school with Esther. Esther's an interior designer. I'm an architect in training. But look at us now.
Look at us.
I want to manifest a life filled with more days like this, whether it's us spending girl time with each other or date nights with significant others for like we're just bored on a Friday. But
It's having fun.
Yes, but a life as extravagant as this.
Amen.
Okay, let's manifest that we vacation. It's the chocolate lounge, so it's nothing but sweets and live jazz music. I'm so excited. Let's go check it out. Thank you. Guys, I had to step out. It's so beautiful in there. This is a new vibe, but I wanted y'all to see how beautiful the singer is. I'm gonna find her name for you guys, but she sounds so amazing. It's just beautiful and flawless. Like, I love it. But yeah, let's go. I'm gonna show her. I'm gonna show you guys.
Again, my name is Parcel. The people that just came in here, this is Jeff on guitar, this is Zoe on keys, and it's Alan on drums over there. And yeah, we'll see you soon, guys. Make sure you get some wine, get some chocolate, and we'll be back before you know it.
1,
2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Esther. To you. The world is turning. The world is ready.
Hey you guys. So I'm about to finish enjoying this night. Look at this light. But I'm about to finish enjoying this night. It's so beautiful. I'm having such a good time with my friends and new friends and a lot of beautiful women and just pouring into each other. But I just want to remind you guys to always, always, always put yourself first and love yourself before you start pouring into others. And you got this. You know, it's okay. We all deal with insecurities. We all struggle. And it's a constant battle. But I believe in you. And there's still so much growth I have to do as well. So just remember, take it easy on yourself. And it's okay. Just remember repetition, acknowledgement, and getting out of your comfort zone. And whatever it is, just do it. And I'm already proud of you. So I'm trying to get the right shadows. But yes, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. And if there's anything else you want to hear about, just let me know. Until then, remember you are blessed, you are loved, and you are confident. And that's an affirmation. So I love you guys and thank you. Three general points to help you build that helped me. I'm going to mention 3 points that helped me build to confidence. So I'm going to mention 3 points to help you build your confidence.